out for under 25 racks, go ahead, man. I don't know what to tell you. It's some real shit. Let me tell you a little story right quick. Look, everything thug, from my birds to my rugs, and my homies flipping birds IRL trying to cop, cause the IRL birds attract IRL cops, and you can't be making money if you IRL lock. IRL drug money hitting up the market. If you knew how rich these motherfuckers were, you wouldn't list for profit. Let me tell you what go down in trap houses where the fiends knocking at your door cause you a coke fountain. My boy did a grand every hour on the hour. Now we thugging with a thug bird. Said he trying to stop the powder. Told him get up on this internet money, buddy, forget the chowder. Now we copping thug birds and he on the next chapter. Yeah, thugging out, swooping in, better make it count. D-list everything.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, now live and direct. It is now episode 8. What's going on? What's going on? Now live and direct. We got Trippin' Balls NFT made by yours truly, Frizz. What's going on, big dog? How you doing today?
Doing good, brother. How about you? What's good, team?
Hey, man, not much. Happy to be alive and breathing, man. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you that much on there.
It is a blessing.
Indeed. First off, for the people who don't know, I guess who you are or what you're doing. First off, I guess name the NFT that you have going on right now. Think about music, and then what's behind it? Like how'd you get started with it?
Yeah, for sure. So, my brother and I recently created a project called Tripping Balls NFT. It was an idea that we had for a long time, was to create an NFT, and then eventually, after me pushing back for so long, he talked me into it, and we ended up coming with a bunch of different ideas, and this was the one that just stuck with us the most. Our goal was to create an NFT that would be cute. I know it's a simple premise, but we felt like that was all that we needed. And eventually, we just things eventually snowballed, and we got enough opinions from everyone that Tripping Balls was what came out of it. And now we have these little fuzz balls that are constantly high as fuck all the time, and that's really what Tripping Balls ended up being.
Heard. So they're high. I heard a little bit. I was downstairs getting a drink. Who's the artist behind it? I know you said cute. Who thought of the design exactly?
So my brother is the artist. I handle pretty much everything else besides the coding. But basically, how it worked was when we were sitting down one night talking about like, okay, if we're gonna make a project, we gotta make it something like good, something heartfelt. I pitched him 5 ideas, and I said, what if we do something that wasn't an animal project? Because we felt that there were so many of them, we wanted to try something that was like different. And I came up with this idea of little like fuzzy little balls, and he ended up drawing me a prototype, and I was like, okay, this is pretty damn good. Let's see where we can go with this. And then eventually, after getting more opinions, we came into the idea of like the melted furs, and then we started. We had this idea of like, what if they were all like really stoned out of their minds, and like they were tripping on like shrooms or weed or stuff or whatever, and we ended up rolling with that idea, and that's how we got the backgrounds. That's how we got like the melted eyes that you're seeing right now and the melted mouths. And we tried to turn them all into characters, and that's just kind of how the traits ended up coming into place, or at least most of the traits.
When you mean, I guess characters, just like so each of them have like an identity in that essence of it, or, I mean, heck, what do you mean characters in that essence of it?
So my history is actually in film. That's what I went to college for. It's what I studied. And to me, I want to take this project, and I would eventually love to develop a lore for it and eventually kind of give them all sort of a story. To me, they're all characters. Each one of these NFTs, they have their own story to tell, based on their traits, based on what the owner even gives to them. And I think that there's a good opportunity for us to try and tell a story with these balls for sure. And I think that that's kind of what we'd love to do with it eventually, is create, I don't know if I'd say a comic book, but my brother and I, as we both have experience in film, I would love to see an animated series at some point with them for sure. But I think a lot of that just starts with a good story, a good foundation of characters. And a lot of it is drawn from inspiration from what we grew up watching and playing as far as movies and video games. So I think it's only right that we do something like that with this project.
Nice. Keep it kind of interested and fresh and passionate. What how long y'all been in, or I guess you, your brother, whoever, how long y'all been in the NFT realm, NFT game, either buying, holding, enjoying, or Like, what got y'all started in NFTs?
So FOMO for one was the big kicker for. But I had been in the crypto space for not too long. I think I was just telling someone last night. I actually bought my first Bitcoin and Ethereum less than a year ago.
Nice.
And then eventually I followed a bunch of YouTubers and learned from there. And I saw this one YouTuber who was constantly talking about these NFTs on Ethereum, and I just kept writing it off and writing it off. And that NFT collection is Bored Ape Yacht Club, and so now you can definitely feel my pain for sure. But
Oh no.
yeah, eventually there was another NFT collection that I bought into, and at the moment I bought into it, it was one of the most exciting and fun feelings that I just ended up in a huge addictive downward spiral of wanting to collect as many as possible. And next thing I know, I think I went from saying NFTs are stupid to within a week having 6 of them. So
amazing.
it was a huge, what's the word? I guess a gateway, if you will, to now becoming like this NFT collector. And eventually I came onto Solana, where I started doing mints, and I came across a bunch of collections, and everyone's just been so nice on the Twitter and everything that I just kept going. And then eventually that's where we came up with the idea, was like, okay, let's try and make a collection that we can do to give back to this community that's been so nice to us. And that's what we are trying to accomplish with this. Besides creating this story, is also giving an opportunity to give back to a community that's been so kind to myself and my brother.
Nice. I think that is something that I'm pretty sure everyone would agree for the most part, because I know the last one we were saying, like, the community of Solana is in general super strong. You know what I mean? A lot of people like to see a lot of people succeed. You know what I mean? So hopefully that keeps going on strong. You know what I mean? Hopefully when people stay making a lot of money, hopefully they still stay as humble as they are now, and still stay like on path and everything.
Yeah, of course.
With question too,
yeah,
just same question I asked the last people. Obviously you're tuned into the NFT space and what's going on and stuff. It's maybe some people would say it's a little bit oversaturated. What are your thoughts on that, and how is that looking as from a developer or from an NFT, someone launching an NFT? How does it look from your side of things?
So that's actually really funny. I may have a bit of an unpopular opinion. I do think that we are in a bit of a bubble for NFTs. I know that may be controversial to say, and ironic coming from a developer, but I think that's what motivates me a little bit more to work so hard on this project, is to outlast the bubble. So
right,
there's tons and tons of projects that are not going to survive. Matter of fact, 99% will not survive in 3 years. They're going to be gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So my question is, and what I've been talking to a lot of my team about, is how do we beat that? How do we find a way to keep enough action to keep people interested in us for the next 3 to 4 years, and then we can say, hey, this is like a staple now. This is a must-have for an NFT. That's what we want to accomplish. And there are tons of projects that I think are definitely going to be able to accomplish that, on Solana as well. But it's just a matter of finding a way to differentiate yourself while providing utility and value to your holders. And in my opinion, it's that simple.
Right.
Okay. What what are some things that people what are some of those utilities, or like why are you gonna be around in 3 years? I don't want to sound like an asshole, but like, because you're right, I believe it as well. You know what I mean? And
no,
I mean, heck, we're with Thug Bridge podcast. Anything can happen. Thug Bridge could be gone, which, knock on wood, I highly fucking doubt it. But
I doubt
be
it
realistic. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, what are some of the things that would help you stay around? You know what I mean? Like,
no. I appreciate the question, honestly. Like, I don't mind talking about that. So the biggest thing that I'm trying to implement, and I'm actually dropping our website later today,
Cool.
is, yeah, it's been, oh my god, I'm the worst web designer, so it's just been a pain trying to get that up. But it's finally done. I can finally get to sleep.
Yeah, for sure.
My philosophy is, don't try to predict the market, learn to adapt with it. Especially on NFTs, where like NFTs change in a matter of a week. The sentiment changes so quick. There's a new argument every week. Everyone has new opinions. I was seeing last night? My whole time I was talking about whether whitelists are a good or bad thing, and we can get into that later or not. It doesn't really matter. But
what do you think?
Yeah,
I personally am not a fan. I was just telling someone last night, they're not for me. I think that everyone should have an equal and fair opportunity. That being said, I do see where whitelists create an equal and fair opportunity. It's just a matter of opinion.
Right, for sure.
Yeah. But as far as our project goes, at the moment we are a lottery style NFT. So
Okay.
instead of paying out royalties, 70% of all secondary royalties will go directly into our community treasury. Those royalties will be used to sweep the floor on projects that are voted by our holders, and then they will be used for projects. They will be used as raffle prizes for anyone who's holding an NFT. And for your NFT acts as a lottery ticket. So let's say that I hold tripping ball 6969. We will use a number generator between 1 and 8,888. And if that number gets selected, you win the prize for the collection that we sweep that week. So let's say royalties for 1 week. The community votes, we're going to sweep the Thugbirds floor. We'll go out and we'll buy 4 Thugbirds, and we'll hold 4 raffles every week, and then the winner will get a free Thugbird.
Damn.
Well, I got a question on that, because I mean, how is the money? Well, first off, what's on here? It's going to be what, 8,888 that are going to be minted. 0.88 soul, which is, I like it, another one that's below 1 mint. 1 soul, which I do like on that one. How because I'm money knows. I'm newish to all this stuff, so I 100% love that essence of it. But if I'm a holder, you know what I mean. How is all that money generated? Say if, and I guess it's all maybe I'm being technical right now, because I'm bullish on Thugbirds. Something, hey Thugbirds, you know what I mean, $80,000. You know how does that get generated after the mints? What happens then? You know what I mean? What's there, I guess.
So the funding will come from secondary sales.
Okay.
That like for the royalties that we get, we are going to be using a chunk of our initial mint profits, obviously, to get us started.
For sure.
But the big thing that I've been wanting to drive forward, and what I'm trying to announce, is that we're actually trying to do more than just be a lottery style NFT.
Okay.
So at the moment, that is our initial utility. But come, let's say 4 weeks from now, 5 weeks from now, like I said, I want to adapt with the market. Let's say that the lottery style NFT isn't working out anymore. The holders will have full direction over our treasury. They'll be able to vote on what we use it for, how we use it. And at the end of the day, utility is meant to like adapt and be changed. Like I don't know if there are so many NFT projects right now that I've seen, at least on Ethereum, that are starting a token. And I don't think anyone would have expected that when they first bought their NFT. But now it's a utility that has a genuine use case. And I think it's a great thing. And I think that it'd be naive of us to think, hey, we're going to do a lottery system for the entire duration of our NFT's life. I think that for now it's working well, or it will work well. But we have to be totally prepared to adapt and find a way to change along with the markets. In addition to that, we're also going to be doing things like community events. So every week we're going to be holding, whether it be like a video game contest, movie trivia night, where they can earn prizes, whether it be in Soul or more tripping balls, stuff like that. The best way I think to keep a lively community is to keep them engaged and entertained. And my brother and I, we grew up on video games and movies. We love that stuff. So why not be able to find a way to bring that into an NFT, keep people having fun?
No, I like it. I think it's smart to be, versatile and be able to change on the stuff, because it'd be great to have things like that. And the other thing, I mean, I think I heard y'all talking about it before. It'd be kind of cool, like a cartoonish series. Again, like some animations. I don't know how any of that stuff would work, but there's things like that. And of course, it would be like a lot of time, things like that it would take. But just a side question: what do y'all use to make the artwork? You know what I mean? Is it just, I guess you said it was your brother. People who are out there who's thinking, they see your tripping balls and they're like, yo, I want to make art. I like it. Is it like an iPad? Is it a Photoshop? Do you know what he uses? Like how does one start drawing on one?
Yeah. No, I can talk on that. So the only thing I will say, if anyone's listening to this and they're like, yo, I want to do this, I want to make NFTs, just try. That's the first thing I can recommend, is just like grab whatever as an artist. If it's pencil and paper, grab pencil and paper. If it's Photoshop, grab Photoshop. But for those of you who want to know the exact mechanics, it is on YouTube. That's what helped us learn a lot. But basically, my brother had an iPad, and when we realized we wanted to do this, he picked up an Apple Pencil. And we use an app called Procreate, which I'm sure is kind of the standard. I'm sure you guys probably know that.
I've heard of that. I'm not really an artist, so.
That's okay. Me neither. But yeah, we drew the initial outline on Procreate, and eventually every layer that we drew, we threw it into Photoshop, and then that's how it gets randomly generated. Yeah.
Cool.
Nice. That's what's up. I was kind of wondered on that one. I was looking at some things earlier. You had kind of like getting the Discord and everything. And then you said there no pre-sales. Kind of I guess being fair overall, everything like that. I was interested with the early the bottler role. Like what do you get in these roles? What's an early ball
Yeah,
adopter?
what's a ball adopter? What happens when I'm an early ball adopter?
The early ball adopter. So initially we created that just in case we wanted to do a whitelist.
Right.
And obviously that's something we're not like if I'm still open to a whitelist at the moment. I'm just trying to avoid it. That being said, if we don't end up doing a whitelist, everyone who is an early ball adopter will be able to enter a free raffle to win several tripping balls. We're going to be giving away, I think, 3 or 4 of them.
Oh,
It's yeah,
That's what's
just an idea that we had, and same thing for anyone who boosts us in our server because we have quite a few server boosters. We want to give back to them as well.
oh, nice.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, and things like that are, I think, are nice. I got I was in a Discord, randomly before any of this stuff, and I looked at while I was like, oh, cool, I got one. You know what I mean? It's always nice to see like the airdrops, even with the stuff with the thug birds. You know what I mean? It is a nice thing to see something like that. So it's always fun to win. You know what I mean? In that essence of it.
Yeah, exactly.
With so the mint date. When are you thinking about having the mint on there? And you said the website's gonna be up today, or hopefully. I mean, when is minting expected, or hopefully?
So I have been advised to push back mint date. That being said, and I am going to do so. I can't give an exact time. I'm aiming for before Halloween,
Okay.
but so like within the next week to week and a half. That being said, there's always issues that come up. There's always things where like we have to push like the date back and whatever. So it's just a matter of, I guess, making sure that everything falls into place. And I'll actually be able to solidify that answer probably this week, just because we have the art done. We have the website will be done later today. It's just a matter of, I guess, the candy machine stuff and the Metaplex stuff that we have to figure out still, which I'm talking to my developer with later.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
That. I guess another question I kind of asked the people beforehand, and I guess you kind of elaborated on some of it as well. What were some of the, I guess, hiccups, things you had to, I guess, overcome, and then, like for the nice people that are out there that are listening and they're vibing when they think like, hey, I want to help X, Y, and Z. One, what was the initial hiccups in the beginning, and two, like, what can be done to make your life easier in that essence of it?
From a creator standpoint, or like, are you asking like what can people do to help?
From a creator, yeah.
Okay. This is a funny story actually. So the art that you see in front of you, we actually had to start over, and create that because we ended up making our first prototype, and we found another NFT project that looked incredibly similar to ours. Like a little too similar, and we just like halfway through making the art, we were like, "You've got to be kidding me!"
Right.
And I talked to my artist, and like, okay, we can either just say fuck it and say we're gonna make our own thing like as original as possible, or we can start over and try to be original. And we started over.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm gonna say is, I guess that was a big obstacle, was like starting over. It was a huge slap in the face because we're like, damn, we thought we had something really original here, and then we had to like try and make it like even more original. It hurt our pride a little bit.
Sure.
The other obstacles I'd say that we've had so far have been marketing. That's been actually a really, really big thing. So like we talked about earlier with the saturation of NFTs, especially on Solana.
Yeah.
Like if I go to How Rare Is and I look up upcoming drops, I'll be scrolling for at least 10 minutes. So the big thing is, how do we find a way to stand out? How do we find a way to please everyone? And how do we find a way to ensure that we're going to have long-term holders, not just flippers?
Right.
And that's still something I don't have an answer to yet, but it's something that I'm constantly working on. Like even when I'm at my job, I'm constantly thinking like, what can I do to bring in more like people who are interested in the project? And I have a ton of people who are super, super helpful. Like the Thugbirds community has been insanely helpful. All of them are giving me shout outs and stuff. I owe so much to them. They are fantastic people. And I'm a thug too. I don't know if I mentioned that. I'm so like grateful to be part of the community.
Awesome. Yeah, I think it's really important that NFT projects, especially ones that haven't launched yet and still have that leverage of not going through their mints yet, should find a way to, if not announce it publicly, at least put it on the roadmap. Really interesting ways to bring utility to the holders. And when we think of the word utility, we think like, to me, that's just such a cringy word now because it's overused by everyone and it doesn't really, it's kind of lost its meaning. But if you could find a way to bring really unique utility and niche utility and develop a community around it, I think that's the recipe right now for successful projects, at least
I'm
during this
so
oversaturated market.
I'm so glad you said that actually. Like that was kind of what how we came up with the lottery system because like at the time, again, no disrespect to any project who does this, I
Right.
saw at least like 5 or 6 royalty projects
Mm-hmm.
that were just coming out, and I was like, okay, we can't do this. We got to do something different.
That's what I
And so I
mean.
was like,
It almost seems like every week there's a new, at first it was a DAO, and then all of a sudden every project had a DAO, and then it was like, okay, now we're doing airdrops, and then all of a sudden that became part of every, you know what I mean? It's almost like a copycat thing. And the projects that are going to succeed over time are going to be the ones that continue to innovate post mint. Do you know what I'm saying? So
exactly, exactly. I actually saw a great tweet the other day from I don't know if you know Cole Theory. I mean, he's the co-founder of Pudgy Penguins.
yeah,
And he said, when did NFTs become about trying to make this incredible, like, make this like life-changing utility in all their
mm-hmm.
projects? When did it stray away from being just digital art, something
Yeah,
that you can
yeah,
look at, appreciate, and cherish? And
yeah,
I looked at it, I was like, damn, why can't it be that simple again? And the
right,
truth is, it can't because there's so much. The bar is constantly raising. But
yeah,
it's
yeah,
nice to go back to that idea of like, I like my art. I feel the same way about my Thugbird. I'm like, I just like him. Okay, I want to
yeah,
keep him. He's mine.
yeah, for sure.
That sentimental value. I mean, I was telling Thug before, or Thug, I'm under my man. I don't want to. You know what I mean? Of course, maybe a number at like a million, stuff like that. But I'm like, damn. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But I mean, that's the beauty of. I mean, I guess community, because I mean that kind of brings that all down to it. If it wasn't a community, then people wouldn't care about, hey, let me get rid of this, get rid of that. So on trying to see on here with some of the things that you're excited for the future, because we got about roughly 10ish more minutes on here. What are some things that people can look forward to in the future, other than Mitten, of course, because I know you're going to be keeping up to date on that. But
Yeah.
what are some things you're excited about in general, like for your project, stuff you want to toot your horn on, honestly, toot y'all's horn on?
Okay. So I guess if whoever's listening, I'm gonna give a sneak peek to the roadmap that's dropping along with our website later today. So basically, after Mint, we're obviously going to be incorporating the Great Protocol into our server,
right.
allowing for private chats, allowing to opening the quote unquote ball hall, which will be for members to do voting.
Ball hall, yeah.
The ball hall. Thank you. It's copyrighted. Just kidding. Anyways, it'll be for voters to just select projects, decide on community events. I think community events are what I'm most excited for personally. Like my brother and I were talking about like holding like a Smash Bros tournament, and like the winner could win like 2 or 3 soul, stuff like that, or like a Mario Kart tournament with our holders. I think that'd be a ton of fun. But the thing I just think I like doing stuff like that. I think it'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that I'm most excited for is that we're actually at the moment in talks with several other projects and several other people to do things like collaborative airdrops. I'm even talking to some token developers at the moment, seeing like their opinions on stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think that the thing I'm most excited for is the possibilities that come with expanding our team.
Mm-hmm.
And so being able to constantly like connect with new people and bring those people into our project to create that extra kind of utility, because I think that when we
are you looking for, if say someone's out there listening, what are you looking for to help your team?
That's a great question. Anything that's different. I know that's a bad answer, but I just don't want to be repeating, I guess, the things that have been done before. Just
That's
because I want,
you want someone who's maybe got a different idea to bring to the table, for sure.
yeah, exactly. Like this project was meant to be something different,
Sure.
and like it's been made by a bunch of people who are literally just NFT community members. Like my entire team is filled with people who are like part of the Trippy Bunny tribe.
Oh, nice.
And that,
Nice.
yeah, we all just met each other through there, and then a lot of them came on as like marketing advisors to help us out and stuff like that. And now we're building this incredibly fun project. The art was meant to be something different than an animal project. The utility was meant to be something different that we hadn't seen done yet. That was still fun.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, being different and being fun are the two things we want to do the most. Because I think that's what builds a community. Things that people can get excited for and entertained, like I've said previously. But yeah, if anyone is listening and they would love to contribute, I'm always down to do collaborative airdrops. I'm always down to find a way to incorporate it into community events, and I'm always down to talk to developers. Always down, because I'm not a developer myself. I love learning though, so I'm always interested. My DMs are open, whether it be on the Tripping Balls account or on my personal.
What's
Anytime.
the personal?
0x and then Frisk.
Heard that. Trying to think of some other ones. You know what I mean? Because again, this is more for to trying to help get people's awareness on just things that are coming up, and kind of like I told the guys as well. You know, where even though it's a Thugbird podcast, we don't want it to be strictly straight up Thugbirds. You know, we want to have it where I mean, like me before I was a Thugbird and everything like that. I wasn't a member of this or anything, and it gave me the opportunity. So I want to give the opportunity to NFT projects and everything out there as well to let their voice be heard. You know what I mean? So
I appreciate that. Like I saw your guys' tweets and I was like, this is mad cool. I want to be part of this. Let me ask you guys then, what do you guys look for in NFT projects? Because like obviously Thugbirds are like, it's kind of the thing you're gonna hold on to. But like I don't know how many mints you guys do every so often. What's the mint you've had most recently that you've been like, oh, I gotta steal. I love this thing. Like I'm so happy with this project.
I've been minting since like the monkeys. It was really profitable back then. I really don't have to say that. There's story after story about people that were minting monkeys and Thugbirds who have made a lot of money. But the environment and the atmosphere was a little bit different about a month and a half ago. There wasn't a lot of projects. There wasn't a lot of devs. There wasn't a lot of user interface stuff. There wasn't candy machine, and you really kind of had to know what you were doing if you wanted to launch something. So it was kind of different, and the mints were horrible. They never went good. Never did. You would just it was so bad. Things over minted. You had to wait for refunds from devs that were anonymous, and you just hope you got your. It was kind of crazy in the Wild West, but it's obviously a little more. And in my opinion, that's the time where you're going to be making that sort of like when bubbles are really starting and then they expand so rapidly and so fast. Now, fast forwarding to now, I'm not minting as much. The art's got to blow me away. The devs really got to pass the vibe check. There's no real criteria to that. It's just kind of me and the devs and what they're tweeting, what their Discord is like. Did they pay for followers? Do they have bots? Are they trying to automate stuff? I'm really cautious now. My ultimate mint these days would be anything less than 0.5 SOL, because I think mint price is irrelevant now. I think developing communities is the number one thing that developers should be concerned about for the lifelong longevity of their project. So definitely a low mint price to get the normal people in and really grow the community organically. So, and second, the devs, and then third, it's got to go good from mint onwards. It's got to be a lot of communication and stuff like that. And the devs really got to put their the mints post mint is the first 2 weeks is really important for me to see if I'm going to hold it long term or not.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, for the most part, I don't mint a lot, just because I don't have a lot of souls. So them lower ones are nice. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like you were saying, it got to pass onto the vibe check. You know what I mean? I got to appreciate the art, and it has to be more than just like a copy and paste type ordeal. Like I can appreciate art and people putting their time into it. You know what I mean? So gotta love the art. The community thing, kind of he was saying as well, is a big thing, because you might have 20,000 followers on Twitter, and you go to the Discord and it's no pun intended, but chirps. No one's in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Compared to, I remember it was a project on ADA. You know what I mean? I didn't know much about ADA, anything like that. Went in there, and there was maybe 20 people in there, but it was genuine. You know what I mean? It was, hey, how do I do X, Y, and Z? And they get the time. You know what I mean? And they don't know I'm talking about them, but it made that that difference into someone. So community is honestly a big thing, and knowing that they're trying to be around, not just a quick cash grab, because there's a lot of money to be made out there. You know what I mean?
Also,
So,
no more animals, okay? Any devs watching, no more fucking animals. I don't want to mint any more animals unless they're really cute. We haven't seen squirrels that I like yet. Squirrels are the
you want
only
some nuts?
exception.
We got some balls.
Squirrels is genius.
I will mint squirrels, okay, but that's the only animal. I'm done. I'm tapping out on animals. The belugies are a nice story too. I wish I got those. I'm glad that girl made $1 million at 14.
Good for her. Honestly, I minted 2 of those, and I'm very, very happy for her. That's amazing.
I love that for her. They could go to 0 now, and I don't care. I love that for her.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what's up.
Right on.
I actually really appreciate the opinion, guys. Thank you. Like that's a huge help for me, is hearing this kind of stuff, because as someone who's trying to make this as community based as possible, I need to hear opinions from as many people as possible. So getting that honest feedback from you guys goes a long, long way. So thank you for that. And I mean that for anyone else. Like my DMs are open for questions, suggestions, comments at any time possible.
Hell yeah. When kind of want to wrap it up here in honestly just about now in a quick second. Any last, I guess, just word, shout out, anything you want to let people know, I guess, about, or like honestly any last words? Sounds so bad like that. Any last words?
No, it's fine. I hope this isn't the end for me.
No.
No, I got everything off the table. Like, you guys asked a bunch of great questions. I feel like I was able to give like a great 45-minute pitch about everything that we have to offer. And all I can say is the model that we have at Tripping Balls is we are a project by the community for the community. And we intend to keep it that way for as long as possible. Like, all of us who are on this started out as just simple investors who learned how to mint by themselves. And now we're trying to create something to give back to a community that wants to be able to have some fun and build some wealth.
Awesome.
Hell yeah. Well, on that note, we're going to go ahead and end it up here. Once again, Frisk, thank you very much for coming in, tuning in, showing us some love. Again, it is at Trippin' Balls NFT. If you have not already hit the follow on them, go hit the follow. Blow up the DMs, you know what I mean? The man's looking for some, not help, but looking for some, I guess, overall help to get the community bigger. You know what I mean? And
exactly.
Just stay strong.
Exactly.
But stay fresh, stay clean. Frisk, one more time, thank you very much for coming in, and you have an awesome rest of the day. All right, big dog?
Thank you.